Welcome everyone to S.O.L.I.D, Stories of Life, Inspiration, and Determination. It's a space where personal journeys of resilience take center stage in Northwest New Mexico. Mental health conversations are often met with silence, but we're here to change that today by sharing real stories from real people, and we aim to break the stigma to raise awareness and inspire hope. No one walks this path alone because there is strength in our stories. I'm Scott Micklin with KSJE, the campus radio station here at San Juan College, and I'm proud to be a part of this project, and I'm joined with one of the members of the Leadership San Juan class of 2025. Pleased to introduce her to you now, Kim Martin. Kim, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. And I was born and raised here in this area, and it's a very near and dear to my heart. I want to make sure that we're able to make this a safe place and people can feel comfortable to be able to talk about their stories and be able to get the help that they need. And I'd like to introduce my guest, Jacki Garcia.
Hello.
I've worked with her for 6 years. She was in my department. She was the payroll tech. Now she's in human resources at San Juan County. She's the HRIS specialist, and she does a phenomenal job, just saying.
Thank you.
And during the course of time that I worked with her, she let me know that her son had committed suicide. And then she has a special day set aside every year that she uses to honor his life. So I thought it would be good for her to come and tell us her story and let us know how she was able to overcome all of the grief that she went through. So,
Jacki, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Tell us a bit about your story. Let's start
My
a little
story.
bit about you and your son.
Okay. I moved to Aztec in 1978. I went to school, graduated from Aztec, started a family, mother of 2 children, a daughter and a son. They went to school in Aztec their whole lives. Fast forward to, I guess, my son. It's the before and after. Most people who have lost a child can tell you that their life is now divided into the before and the after, and here we are at the after, and I never expected my son to commit suicide. I never saw signs. There were no signs. I almost drove myself crazy searching for signs. What did I miss? How could I have missed something?
None of those.
None.
None of those. And so, how old was your son?
My son was 2 months shy of his 23rd birthday. Yes.
And so since that time, as Kim was saying, you have set up a special remembrance event.
Well, it's on his birthday. Mm-hmm. On his birthday, since he would, as a little boy, he would always help me with my Christmas baking. He was always there, helpful. I gather his friends, my friends, family, and I make a whole bunch of sugar cookies, and we decorate cookies, try to make it more of a happy event, celebrate his life. Because my son was awesome. He was a great sports player. He was a natural-born athlete. He was a goofball. He was a practical joker. He had just so much life about him.
Right. And this happens then in December?
Yes. December 20th is his birthday.
That's the date?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Very good. And say his name for us, please.
Cole Edward Cannon.
Very good.
Yes.
And so with that, talk to us a bit about the support that you received during that time, or did you receive support during that time? How was your life at that time?
Well, obviously when it happens, you're numb. It's unbelievable. You can't wrap your head around it. It's like someone kicked you as hard as they can in the stomach, in the chest. It's unimaginable. But I have 2 sister-in-laws that have lost children. 2 my nephews passed away. They have been a tremendous help. I can't remember who told me. There used to be a grief support group here locally in Farmington called Compassionate Friends. It was for parents, grandparents who have lost children and grandchildren. I started going there, and I met my friend Amber. Our sons committed suicide a month from each other. Her son was only 13. And she became big into the suicide awareness. She started the Love for THAD. I helped her where I could. And I did a lot of counseling, a whole lot of counseling, because you quite honestly feel like have gone crazy.
And for the community, how did they respond? Did you feel you got support from the community through these groups and these other individuals that you reached out to?
The groups with people who have lost children, yes, they're very supportive. We call it the Ugly Shoe Club, and it's just a bond we all kind of have. Because not to be rude, or unless you have lost a child, you honestly do not know how it feels.
Sure.
And these people do honestly know how you feel.
Right. So being in this situation and given this opportunity to tell your story on this podcast, how do you feel that the community could help you going forward and help people in the future that lose their children to help them get through that hard time?
Compassion. It's little things. It's, when you see people late for work, if you see people struggling, just compassion. You don't always have to try and solve their problems. If you can just let them know, you ask if you're okay. Is there anything I can help you with? Do you just need me to leave you alone?
Yeah. And I know that you helped coordinate the candlelight vigil at Aztec Speedway this past year. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So September 10th is International Suicide Awareness Prevention Day. So around the world, people light candles at 7 p.m. to offer support, honor people who have died to suicide, and offer support to family or to people who are suicidal. Show them that there is help, talking. I know a lot of people don't want to talk. A lot of people try to push down their grief, try to not deal with grief. And you honestly cannot do that. You have to feel it. You have to feel it, or else it will eat you alive, I feel.
And telling your story with us today, is that helpful to you?
It is helpful. It is difficult, as I do suffer PTSD from my son's suicide. And it's horrible in our area, our suicide rate. One of my very good friends, she was my former supervisor. 2 months after I started there, her daughter took her life. And in the time frame of my son passing away, I've honestly gone to about 20 funerals between his friends and my friends for suicide. So it does help me. If telling my story helps anybody at all, if it helps any parent not live the nightmare I live, I will do it, because it's not easy. It's hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever gone through.
And I know that from other stories that we've heard, there doesn't always seem to be warning signs.
No.
Another guest that we will be having, she didn't have any warning signs either, and it makes it hard. And as a parent, I don't know if I could survive that.
It's hard, I'm going to tell you, because me and Stacy, my former coworker, my good friend, her daughter had attempted suicide. She knew signs, she knew what to look for, she knew what to watch for. And I always wondered, is it hard to watch your child go through that? Or is it just, what's harder? You're getting the rug pulled out from under your feet, thinking my child would have never done this. But regardless, at the end of the day, both of our children are gone. And now we just have to work through getting through all our feelings now.
Right. And between Jacki and Stacy, they both worked under me. That was I was trying to be very, very helpful and being very considerate of their time. I know that there was a point whenever I was talking to Jacki and saying, we need to try and get here more on time. But then whenever she pulled me aside and she talked to me, I was like, okay, that makes sense, and I understand that. And so just talk to me and let me know what you're going through, and I'll help you any way I can. So as a supervisor, I think that that's important, that people take the time to understand that you don't actually know what's going on behind the scenes or what's happening in a person's personal life. And you have to take that into consideration to help them get through that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I did that. It's very hard. And I admire you to be able to go through that and survive.
Sure.
And not let yourself just crawl into a hole.
And when you think back to that time of having that understanding from a supervisor, from people around you, was that helpful during that time in your life? I mean, did it help to at least not have to worry about some of that stuff while you were dealing with so much other things?
Because you do feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, especially if you have other children and you have to try to maintain some kind of normalcy in their lives too, because they too also lost a sibling and they are going through things, but they kind of lost their parents because for the longest time I was heavily medicated on antidepressants, anti-anxiety meds, and I would go to work and then I would just go home and sleep until, I feel I can't just live in this hole. And like I said, counseling is awesome. It helps you with your thoughts. It helps you make you realize you're not as crazy, that this is normal reaction to grief, and it brings things into perspectives. And counselors say you have to go out and you have to do things for yourself. You have to push yourself. And there are a lot of people that turn to drugs and alcohol and substance abuses, and so sometimes just getting up and getting to work, it takes all out of you. And so to have some compassion, to be tardy, or have a moment to go gather yourself, it is helpful.
And that is your story, of course, and everyone's a little different too.
Yes,
is that true, right?
everyone handles grief differently, yes.
And so for you, though, that was what you were going through. And so did going back to work, having some of that pattern, some of that thing that you needed to do every day, did that help kind of knowing that you needed to be doing something? Or was that more of a pain, if you will, to know that someone was asking more of you at that time?
Honestly, when my son died, I only took 2 weeks of work off. I wasn't working at the county. It was a different job.
Sure.
And it was not enough time. It was not enough time. It was too soon. And I think when you lose children, I think you need longer, because in the beginning, in the first part, you were so numb. It is so still unbelievable. So even though it's been 2 weeks, your mind is just now, because now people are finally leaving you alone. You're alone a lot, and you're alone with your thoughts and your mind, and that's when the realness sets in. So you need to take longer time to grieve after you lose a child than 2 weeks. I would, a couple months, honestly, because then after you can get back into the head space that you need to do your job.
Sure. And moving forward, you said that your life is now in 2 segments, before and after.
Yes.
In this after time now, are things getting better? You think they're getting better? Will they ever get better? What do you think about this afterlife that you now are in?
I do a lot of volunteer stuff with the Compassionate Friends, which that we no longer have a chapter, which that's sad. I do help run it's an angel garden at McCoy Elementary School that we honor Aztec students that went there. I put together the International Suicide Awareness Prevention Day, and seeing new parents freshly into this journey, I can see how far I have come. I can see my strength. But take me back to his angelversary, the day he died, the anniversary of his death, and it hits your body. Your body somehow knows, and it shuts down, and it takes you right back to So yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
I think that's an honest answer and a good answer, because again, and I would think too that there maybe are things throughout the year maybe that are triggering or trigger remembrances or things like that also, that is just hits you. Maybe you're not expecting it at that time, right?
Yes. I can still go to the store and see something. I'm like, oh, my son would like that. Oh, yes, a song will come on. There is, actually, my son drove one style of car in his 22 years. He had the same, he kept getting the same version of the car. And I see that a car resemble that, and yep, it takes me back.
Right.
It takes me back.
And so advice for folks who are watching, listening to us today, of what you've gone through, what maybe they're going through. Do you have anything to share about maybe what they could be thinking about or watching from other friends or family members or things like that, or maybe someone who has a similar story to yours?
I just say, just be kind to one another. Life is short. Things that might make you angry and fly off the handle, maybe take a pause and reflect on, you lashing out on somebody might ruin their whole day. They might overthink it. They might put them in a bad situation. Like, just all I can say is pause before you react. Get a handle on your emotions, which that is so difficult. I currently work on that daily. It's a struggle. But kindness, let's remove the stigma of mental health. Talking helps. Feel your emotions, quit trying to be tough and suppress the tears. If you feel tears, let them out. And those are my words.
And for you, and thank you again for sharing your story with us, but what about for your family? Are they doing better? Are they doing okay as well? I know every circumstance is different, right?
Certain family members have chose a different path. They're not dealing with guilt. They've chosen alcohol and substance. And then there's others who work and try to, celebrate and find the happiness and the goodness. It's a struggle.
Right. And it's individual.
It's individual.
Which is important as well.
Yes.
Very good. Any further thoughts on our topic today?
Just like Jackie had mentioned, to remove the stigma. Because everybody struggles. It may not necessarily be a death of a child. It could be death of a parent. Like for my sister, she really struggled at the death of my father. I have friends that have that they struggle with substance abuse, or and just knowing that there's a whole variety of things that are going on in people's lives, and to be kind to each other is very key. To make sure that you take it with an understanding that what's going on in someone else's life you don't know about, and you have to understand that, and just say, okay, maybe they have something going on that I'm not aware of, and just be nice to them and help them. Even the other day, this kind of broke my heart. I had a lady come up to me at the Safeway parking lot and says, do you have some money? I need some money so I can buy my prescriptions. And what immediately went through my head was, I have all of these connections, and I could not think of any place that I could tell her to go to. And I think it's so important that everybody be made aware of the Navigation Center, places where that they can go to get help with mental health, or even just financially, or whatever the case may be. And San Juan County is an awesome county. We are very much family oriented, and people will come out and help if they know that there needs to be help. So, and I feel very fortunate to live in San Juan County, and I feel very fortunate to have Jackie as a friend.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And Jackie,
can I add something else?
Of course, please do.
So a lot of people say, a lot of Facebook posts, the coffee's always on, my door's always open. If you ever need somebody to come by, reach out. A lot of times when people are in that dark, deep hole, they can't reach out. They're not thinking about reaching out. They're thinking of all their failures, how humility, they're thinking about that. But your friends, your family, if they seem off, if they seem indifferent, if they're losing their excitement about things that they once were, reach out to them. Go by their house. Check on them. And you don't even always have to talk. If you're just their presence. When Stacy first lost her daughter, I would crawl in bed with her. We didn't talk. We didn't talk. We just sat there, and just knowing that we had each other, that is helpful. It means that you're not alone. You have somebody, and we're there for you. So.
Great advice.
Yep. And don't always wait for the invitation. If you know someone is struggling, just take the initiative to step up.
Good words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leadership San Juan. And thank you for listening to S.O.L.I.D, Stories of Life, Inspiration, Determination. Every story shared is a step toward understanding, healing, and change. If today's conversation resonated with you, keep the dialogue going. We ask you to share this episode, seek support, and also to remember that there is strength in our stories. Stay resilient, stay connected, and we'll all see you next time. Thanks.